In Mexico City lives the noble family, one of the richest in the area. The father Jermaine N is a well-known businessman and has 3 children, Javi, Barbie, and Charlie, and all of them live off the money from the trust fund left by their mother, who died of a health issue a few years ago. They're all spoiled brats that haven't worked a single day of their lives, and at first Jermaine N doesn't notice how careless they truly are because he's always busy working and thinks his kids are still going through emotional issues because of their mother's death. Barbie is in a relationship with Peter, a failed businessman who is 20 years older than her and only wants to marry her to get enough money to pay off his huge tax debt. However, Barbie has no idea of his real intentions and is crazy about him. For Barbie's birthday, a special party is organized, and lots of extra workers come to the house to get things ready. She recognizes one of them as Lucho, the nephew of their family maid who once lived in their mansion's servant quarter. When they were teenagers, Barbie used to bother Lucho by pretending to seduce him. Because of her bratty personality, Lucho doesn't like her at all. Meanwhile, the middle child Javi is the only one just kind of interested in taking over the business in the future. However, he still parties a lot with his friends and tells them he works for the company, when actually he does nothing but make up stupid ideas all day long. Today he is suggesting they should start a petrol home delivery service, and Jermaine N's business partner Kareem makes fun of him for it, wanting to help Javi with his confidence. Jermaine N gives him a file to be sent to an associate the next day. The youngest son Charlie is a college hipster who skips his classes almost every day and hits on his teachers, which often gets him in trouble. His routine also consists of partying and using his parents' money for whatever stupid thing he can think of. One afternoon in the office, Jermaine N sees a bill for his children's expenses from the past month. Kareem notices the crazy numbers too and warns Jermaine N against his children's careless spending habits, which worries Jermaine N. He knows that he has to teach the importance of money to his kids as soon as possible, but doesn't know how. Later that day, Javi takes a bunch of his friends on an impromptu trip to Miami, forgetting the fact that his father gave him an important task for the company. In the evening, Barbie's birthday party is a total success and everyone is having lots of fun. She sees Lucho doing her job and comes closer to ask him to clean a stain off her dress. Lucho hates it but he must obey not to lose his job. Peter sees this and immediately interrupts them, asking for a private moment with Barbie and Jermaine N. At that moment, Peter asks Jermaine N's permission to marry his daughter. Jermaine N wonders how Peter is going to keep her happy when he doesn't have a job, and Barbie cuts in to point out that they will use her trust fund. Suspecting that Peter is up to no good, Jermaine N disapproves of the marriage, yet Barbie doesn't back down. She simply walks outside and announces that she and Peter are engaged. Afterward, things continue to escalate pretty quickly. First, Jermaine N discovers Javi forgot about the important task he had to do for the company. Then he gets a call from Charlie's college's dean, informing him that his son was caught having an affair with his teacher and was expelled for it. Suddenly Jermaine N starts having trouble breathing and is taken to the hospital. Thankfully it is nothing serious, but when his children come to visit him, Jermaine N pretends to have gotten a heart attack. He hopes this will be a wake-up call for his kids so they see how much they stress him. However, the trio just starts arguing about a movie. Once they leave, Jermaine N decides to make it his mission to teach them a lesson. Soon he and Kareem have the perfect plan. They will fake bankruptcy and send the siblings to live in the slums. Sometime later, Barbie is with her friend at a restaurant when suddenly her card gets declined, and because she never had a problem like this, she doesn't know what to do. Javi is partying with his friends and Charlie is in a meditation class, but they both are interrupted by a call asking them to return home immediately. By the time they arrive at the house, their phone lines have been cut too and a bunch of people have gathered outside to ask for money. At that moment Jermaine N arrives looking very nervous and makes them jump over a wall to escape. Once they are far enough from the house, Jermaine N explains that he was betrayed by Kareem, who has fled with all their company's money. Jermaine N is now broken a wanted criminal for fraud in the 3rd degree. That is not all. Since the siblings are also shareholders of the company, the police are looking for them too. This means they will have to refrain from contacting all of their relatives and live a low life away from a luxury. The seriousness of the situation starts to sink in, and Jermaine N decides to bring the kids to his father's old house. which is not listed under the company's assets. The house sadly is in ruins because it has been abandoned for decades, and since the trio has never stayed in anything other than luxury hotels, they are immediately horrified. Jermaine N explains they will have to renovate it with time and hard work. That night, they have terrible street food for dinner and discuss the matter of money, so Jermaine N tells the kids they have no choice but to find jobs. The next morning, Barbie tries to take a shower but the faucet only releases horribly dirty water, so she ends up using hand sanitizer all over her body instead. Meanwhile, Jarvie goes to his friends and asks them for money, promising to return it as soon as his father's name is cleared. However, the guys show their true faces and refuse to help him. Sometime later, Barbie calls Peter and tells him they have to postpone the wedding, which leaves Peter upset because he didn't marry Barbie when she was still useful. Missing his chance, Charlie is the only one who goes to look for a job, and using his father's influence, he easily gets a position at a bank. This makes his new boss angry with him because that job was supposed to be her niece's. She is always rude to Charlie and threatens to fire him as soon as she gets the chance. At the end of the day, the family gets together and the kids hand Jermaine N whatever money they were able to collect. Barbie has earned the most, but it turns out she sold Jarvie's watch for it. Moments later, their faithful maid Maggie and Lucio come to the house to give them a hand, bringing along some clothes for the family to change into. Lucio takes advantage of Barbie's situation to bother her like she used to do to him, but when his Aunt Maggie insists, he has no choice but to provide Barbie with a job as a waitress in a restaurant he works at. When Jarvie finally searches for work, he gets a job as a public vehicle driver. On his first day, things go well for a while until another vehicle cuts in line before him and the driver makes fun of him, starting a rivalry between them. Meanwhile, Barbie goes to work at the restaurant and is disgusted to see chefs spitting on customers' meals. Rules say she must change into her uniform in a shared locker room, and when she protests, Lucio tells her that she deserves everything she is going through because of her terrible personality. As time passes, the siblings start adjusting to their new life, cooking and cleaning for themselves. Although at first they struggle a lot because they don't know how things work, soon they get the hang of it. Jarvie's rivalry with a bus driver continues for weeks, and one day, he tries to race him to a parking spot. This gets him stopped by the traffic police. Meanwhile, Barbie is not very good at being a waitress. Whenever a customer is mean and rude, she is even meaner, which causes the customers to walk away without paying. Eventually she discovers that the key for better tips is to flirt and begins to use it all the time. One day, Charlie makes a mistake at his banking job and his boss calls him to her office. After closing the door, she shocks Charlie by suggesting he should do something right to make up for the mistake. This results in the two of them getting frisky in the office. A few days later after dinner, Jermaine N discovers Barbie trying to make herself puke to maintain her weight. He is in shock to learn that she has been doing it since she was in college and was diagnosed with bulimia a few years ago. Barbie laughs bitterly, saying that he never had time for his children and that she never expected him to care. This makes Jermaine N realize how absent he has been from his children's lives all this time. In the meantime, Peter is telling a friend about how he missed the chance to pay off his debts, commenting on the bankruptcy and Kareem fleeing with the money. However, Peter's friend doesn't believe him because Kareem is right behind them, talking to someone. Peter immediately realizes that something is wrong and starts to investigate. The next day, Lucio and Barbie go to the market together, and such a simple activity as buying groceries for the restaurant and trying several street foods allows them to bond and become closer than ever. Meanwhile, Jarvie finds his competitor bus driver and starts a fight with him, but the silly confrontation suddenly stops after they find out they both read books by the same author. They start talking to each other more seriously and learn that their ambition in life is the same, to start a business of their own. A few weeks later, the family discovers they have finally earned enough money to be able to renovate the house. They begin working together on it, and while they chat, Jermaine N mentions how bad Jarvie is at spelling. This causes Jarvie to reveal that he is dyslexic and has gone to therapy for it, which leaves Jermaine N speechless. Not only he didn't pay attention to his kids, he didn't even notice the therapy bills. The next day at the restaurant, the owner throws a party for his employees. Barbie and Lucio dance, and thanks to Barbie having matured through hard work, Lucio finally accepts to kiss her. At the same time, Peter arrives at their house and meets Jermaine N, explaining he knows about the lie and threatening to reveal the truth to his children. Scared that they will hate him after finding out, Jermaine N asks him what he wants. At that moment, Barbie arrives, So Peter uses the chance to tell the family that Kareem has returned with the funds and their bank accounts are working again, meaning that they can go back to their old lifestyle. The siblings are overjoyed, but Jermaine N is blackmailed into staying silent. While the family gets ready to leave, Barbie meets Lucho outside to reluctantly wish him farewell before leaving. Apparently she thinks that since Peter helped her in a situation like this, she can't betray him and go to Lucho. The next day, Jermaine N goes to the office and asks Kareem for a solution. He wants to keep the secret from his kids, but he cannot let Barbie marry Peter. Meanwhile Barbie starts shopping for her wedding, but her heart is not in it. Sometime later, Jermaine and Kareem are in a meeting with Peter and a lawyer. Jermaine offers Peter money to walk out of Barbie's life. However, Peter refuses and makes it worse by making Jermaine sign a contract that says Barbie's husband will be authorized to use as much money as he likes from her trust fund. This wording is on purpose in case he can convince Barbie to marry someone else. After the meeting, Jermaine asks Maggie for advice. She says he should tell his kids the truth because the longer he hides it, the longer they will take to forgive him. Jermaine trusts her and decides to do the right thing. In the meantime, Peter is proposing to Barbie again, and he asks her to sign the marriage papers immediately because he can't wait anymore. Barbie is nervous and unsure, but she still goes to the city hall, ready to confess. Jermaine calls his sons and asks them to meet him immediately, but when he calls Barbie, Peter picks up only to quickly hang up. Worried, Jermaine calls a friend of Barbie's and finally learns about the wedding. Soon Jermaine and his sons are rushing to the city hall to stop Barbie, arriving right before she is about to sign the papers. Jermaine finally comes clean and tells them the truth about the fake bankruptcy, explaining that he lied because he wanted them to learn how difficult it is to earn money. He also reveals that Peter only wants Barbie's money and has been blackmailing him. The siblings are furious at their father for lying to them and simply walk away without saying a word. After all this mess, the trio decides to move back into the old house, refusing to take Jermaine help and ready to build a life on their own merits. Working hard even if their father can't see it anymore, Jarvi and his fellow bus driver open a car wash, and when his old friends come to him again, he dismisses them. Charlie finds a girlfriend of his age and is in a happy relationship while Barbie goes back to Lucho and starts dating him. Months later, on Barbie's birthday, everyone gathers at the house to celebrate. Someone knocks on the door and Barbie opens it to see Jermaine outside wishing her happy birthday. There is some hesitance and Jermaine thinks he should leave, but his children call him inside and the family finally reunites. Take care, bye bye. Don't forget to subscribe if you like my videos.